Hello, this is Kanchana Kwangbung. This is a short video response for week 2, Native American legends. And my thoughts on both readings was amazing on uh, how that the individual stories of the sorry here I gotta go all the way back to the top of the Legend of Stories packet that was given to us in the readings in the readings was amazing because of the whole all 9 stories. They all told a different message that were like answers. These stories were created by the story makers and tellers of each individual tribe as a response or answer to their people's questions and curiosity, because naturally every human, as it's a part of our human nature, are curious. Curiosity killed the cat. I mean, that's not the right quote, because that's saying being curious is bad. But we as humans, especially to new things that we don't know about, like knowledge based, like we've never seen before. We like to theorize and try and figure out what they could be, because we're curious, and so that's why these stories were made. Like, as an example, The Great Mystery was a story that tried to explain about the world, how it came to be, that they live in. But also, unfortunately, it also expressed their great, rightfully so, fueled anger, confusion, and annoyance at the white man. Because in the story, they talk about how the great white men come from across the great waters, not bringing anything of value of their own, not bringing anything to trade, but just taking from them constantly, just stuff. I mean, near the end, they do say that they're supposed to give, and whatnot, just to everyone and anyone in need. But I just feel bad because they're being taken advantage of, and it's literally documented here. That's literally what it is. Besides, trying to explain, oh, this is how the world came to be and why things are happening the way they are. They also express and document how they're being abused and mistreated by, the imperialist settlers that are coming, across the waters. They're just taking from their things, taking their valuable metals, ores, food, and other things that are valuable. Another example, the Dreamcatcher. It explains about 2 things, possibly the human consciousness, which is it was stated here by Ikatomi, the dream spider, that there are many forces, good and some bad, that are webbed out through your life, your mental and imaginary spider web that kind of just dictates your future. And he says, if you listen to good forces, they will steer you in the right direction. But if you listen to the bad forces, they'll hurt and steer you in the wrong direction. Meaning, if you think positive and good thoughts and adhere to that, you'll most likely live a fulfilling and good, life. But if you give into self-deprivating negative thoughts, selfish, hurtful to other and yourself thoughts, that it's gonna steer you down, because you are what you become in terms of thinking. Like, the food for thought that you give yourself and think about others and yourself, good or bad, is what you become. And then it also explains the reason why they make these dream catchers is because the string in the middle is supposed to be Ikatomi, or mimic Ikatomi's web that he makes, that is supposed to, for purpose, is supposed to sift through your dreams at night when you're sleeping, because it's supposed to be over your bed or in where your sleeping quarters. And it's supposed to, like a colander, I think, right? It's supposed to catch all the good thoughts, all the yummy good juices, basically, of your dreams, positive thoughts, and keep them within your keep them within your metaphorical dream web and the future destiny web. And then all the cracks and the holes and crevices that are there, the purpose for that is for the negative and bad thoughts to fall through and just fall out of your life. So that's another answer, I feel like, to, like, possibly for the Native American people's questionings of how, when they go to sleep, right? why sometimes they may see or envision certain things, like, and they could be good or bad. So I feel like they made that answer and tool also of, the myth of Ukatomi, the dream spider, and his web, and also his creation of the dream catcher, is to help explain nightmares and just normal dreams. I feel like as well, because we humans, scientifically and whatnot, with a normal working brain, usually can make and create dreams of some kind subconsciously. And then the next example that I like, as last I'm gonna say, that I find amazing is the Pathfinder story. It explains basically about the usual dilemma that we face as young adults when coming into our own as what we should do in life, and that is if we choose the quick, short, mysterious route that could lead to riches and success, but at the cost of mysterious, hazardous roadblocks that you don't know about and other dangerous things. Or you could take the easier, more secure, comfortable path that everyone has taken elsewheres before you. But be warned, it is a long, tiring, and possibly most likely boring road. Unlike the short, quicker, faster, entertaining, interesting route. But the name of the myth and story, Indian story, is Pathfinder, and what that means is that it talks about how a trailblazer is born, which in this one, Whispering Wind represents, because he becomes himself a trailblazer and also Pathfinder, because he doesn't take either route that he's given. And before he comes to this conclusion, he does try to he tries to mentally call out for the council for help and wisdom, but then soon realizes that he should make his own path. That's why it's called Pathfinder. He realizes after a failed attempt to make a link with the council that either path isn't for him. Not the short, quick, dangerous path, or the long, tiresome but comfortable and beautiful, comfortable path. He needs to take his own path. So that's what he does. After he realizes that he stops meditating, he walks, looks at both paths, and just walks onto his own path. And that's how a Pathfinder and for generations to come are born. So that explains how Native Americans see, success and living a fulfilling life. And answering that question about, like, what is a good life and how they could determine that. And that story, being a Pathfinder, a good life isn't always going to be in the always sawed off after comfortable and secure path, or the more enticing, shorter, quicker, dangerous path. It's the path that you make on your own, that you create on your own. Like, all these stories, creation wise, they are made to answer, like, everyday life things, and also to teach meaningful lessons and stories to future generations that grow up to become adults. Like the story of the Faceless Doll. The Iroquois people had what they called three sisters, the sustainer of lives. These sisters were called Corn, Beans, and Squash. The Corn people were so thrilled of being, sustainer of life, that she asked all of my creator what she could do more. And creator said that she could make a doll for all the children to play with. And this doll was made, I believe, in her image, but it was made so beautiful and just tantalizing that when she brought it down for all the children to play with and to all the tribes and whatnot, everyone just kept saying how beautiful and amazing and just awesome she was, basically, just gassing her up. And to the point where she became vain and started acting, egotistical a bit. and that was not why she was created or given this role by the creator. So the creator had to remind her to not be vain and not to behave like this, or she would be punished. Essentially, what the story boils down to is that the doll could be anyone. It could be you, me, or whoever. It means basically that even though you may have certain features that are more desired by others and maybe also more preferable, don't forget that everyone else is unique. Like don't get the ideal that you're better than anyone else just because of certain features or attributes that you may have that another person may not have. It's basically saying treat everyone with the ideal and respect that they have a unique gift, which they do. Everyone has a unique gift that they have to bring to the table. So don't be shitting on people's praise, basically. And I honestly love that. That like most of these stories that I read, all of them, I could pinpoint for the most part while reading them what the possible message or theme of the story that the storyteller was trying to pass down was, basically. And that's why I think the use and creation of all these stories was besides answering questions, it was also as a second purpose was also the it was to so answer questions, and it was supposed to teach meaningful themes and messages. This is my response to the Native American Indian assignment. Peace.